On this episode, we have Hereditary, we have Jurassic World, we have James talking about DVDs. It's gonna be great. I'm Jay.
And I'm Bree.
Dogmatic Media. So we got a few different topics to talk about. A couple weeks ago, you went to Happenstance Horrorfest.
I did.
Tell us all about that.
So, Stained Glass Bloodbath Productions, George James Fraser, holds it every year in Haverhill, Mass. And a lot of great films, all horror related, but a lot of them were actually really funny. And really impressive, a lot of them. If you have Facebook, go like them, and you will see all the films that all the films that were on the roster, and then you can do your due diligence and go look up those films and then check those out. You know, just support local artists. It's a great time. It's a fun time. There's food. It's a great theater. It's awesome. If you like horror movies, if you like indie movies, if you like funny movies, if you just like to do things that I tell you, then do it.
Do all the things.
All the things.
That she says.
Always.
One thing that we shouldn't have done is go and watch Jurassic World.
I will agree to that. I agree. $187 million budget for nothing.
Piece of trash, garbage. No, awful.
50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It should have been negative 50% as far as I'm concerned. It was awful. Just a piece of gelatinous goo. Trash.
He really doesn't like Chris Pratt.
I mean, he is whatever. You know what I mean? I liked him when he was on Parks and Rec back in the day. He was funny. But in this movie, no. He's like a superhuman fucking dinosaur wrangler, or whatever the fuck. He can outrun lava and outrun dinosaurs. Like, really?
I know.
Really?
I know. I get it, dude.
Really? No.
There was just too many continuity errors for me. Like, I don't care. Oh, you're supposed to go to movies and then like just
suspend belief, but that's just way too much suspending for me.
Like, just everything about it. Oh, we're gonna charge $8 to $20 million to these billionaires for a dinosaur.
A live dinosaur.
A real fucking thing. But like right now, if I wanted to get a dinosaur bone, it'd be like $8 million. Like, so.
You did not do their research very well.
No, and then they're like, oh hey, yeah, and then this dinosaur is a perfect killing machine. Let's like, you know, you point a laser to the thing and then it makes a noise, and then you have to wait for the dinosaur to kill your enemy. But it's like, okay, but you have to wait for the dinosaur to kill the enemy, where you could just get a sniper. Shoot. You could just get a long-range weapon. Like,
just shoot.
Okay, and then this all-powerful dinosaur is then taken down by a fucking T-Rex, and then some water fucking dinosaur, and then he comes back just like, oh, okay. Like, I can all of a sudden breathe underwater. Like, what?
Did not dig it at all.
No.
Just awful.
I mean, I just think they should have stopped after the first one. But that's me. They're like, hey, everybody's on original now. Let's all just reboot movies. And
that's a problem, because in the beginning it was a good premise.
Yeah, sure.
You know, they take DNA from a fossil and they made dinosaurs. Hey, great. But then now it's just kind of, you know, what can we make the most money on?
Yeah, and then they always want to end things with, oh, hey, we could probably make another one from this ending. And it's like, no, please don't.
Right. Instead of spending all this money on CGI and special effects and these overpriced, shitty actors that don't do their job properly, spend some time and some money on a writing staff. Some creative people to make a story that makes sense, that is good, and get some actors that can actually hone their craft and do good things instead of this piece of trash. Garbage.
I don't hate it as much as he does.
No, don't go and see it. Don't even wait for the DVD. In fact, when the DVD comes out, I'm gonna buy a bunch of copies and just smash the shit out of them with a hammer. Just
but
because.
Then you're giving them more money to make the
I don't
next.
care. I'll put it on. I'll do it on the show. The Jurassic World smashing DVD episode.
You got issues,
It'll just
man.
be me with a hammer.
He's got issues.
She's just realizing this now.
Dude, honestly, just go see those movies from Happenstance instead of that.
And most of them are probably free, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, whatever?
Yeah, they're on YouTube or whatever, so they're pretty cool.
So take the money you were going to spend on Jurassic World and buy your significant other a gift. Buy your kids something. Go watch a good horror movie. Save that money and go watch Halloween in October.
Yes.
That'd be better, yes.
I'm really excited. Sorry.
Yes, we are all excited about it. Another thing we're excited about is James coming on next, talking about all kinds of Blu-ray, DVD stuffs.
Yeah.
Dogmatic Video. Coming up next.
What's going on, guys? It's James here with your installment of Dogmatic Video for this episode. I have got 3 this episode. 3. Okay, let's just get right into it. I want to kind of blast through the first 2 because I got a lot to say about the last one. Okay, so the first one I checked out was Eli Roth's Death Wish, or I should say his remake of Death Wish. It's a pretty straightforward film. It's by the numbers. It's a revenge action movie. Doctor, his wife and child are assaulted by masked robber thief types, and he decides to take the law into his own hands and gets a pistol and starts shooting up Chicago. This is a kind of a turn for Roth, obviously, who's mostly rooted in horror, which is where all my favorite films by him are. So I'm going to kind of give him a pass on just how predictable the film was. I wasn't really wowed by anything. There was one particular scene involving a carjack and an engine that was like really savage, but beyond that, it wasn't bad, wasn't good. It was kind of in between. I mean, Roth, his realm's horror, and I do appreciate that this film used a lot of practical effects, but at the same time, I really think Eli Roth should just stick to horror. This could have been better in somebody else's hands. I feel like he just put too much of him in the film, if you will. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you approach it. Your opinion, you let me know how you feel about it. But for me, out of 13, it's going to get an 8. Second one we're talking about tonight, I thought was fantastic. Annihilation. I kind of passed by it on when it was in the theaters because I was like, Natalie Portman, quasi sci-fi horror, whatever. I regret this decision greatly. Ended up picking it up on Blu-ray. Visually, I was completely blown the fuck away. Just blown the fuck away. Like, this is like an acid trip in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory told through the lens of Dante from Dante's Inferno. Like, this is the prettiest version of hell I have ever seen. This film goes from beautiful to disturbing to back to beautiful to beautifully disturbing. It's just shot amazingly. The special effects are amazing. The performances by the 2 leads, which were Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, awesome. Awesome. And the thematic impressions of what this film's talking about, it is genuinely a mind-blowing film. It was fantastically written. It looks fucking beautiful. We're talking like Mila Kunis right after that 70s show beautiful. Like, just awesome film all around. If I'm gonna score it, it's definitely a 12 out of a 13. It is a must fucking watch. It will change your perception on shit. I promise you. Fucking incredible film. So, now we got those out of the way. I want to talk about the main film that I want to talk about tonight. So I saw Tomb Raider with Alicia Vikander and Walton Goggins, and it's based on it's kind of an interesting like irony that the film is based on it's a reboot film based on a reboot video game, because it's based on the original the first in the series of Tomb Raider games that they have out now, that came out in 2013, and for the most part it's a pretty faithful adaptation. I don't really consider this a bad film. It was well acted. Walton Goggins, like I could rave about that guy all day. Like, if there was like an all-time like, can I get this guy? What do I have to pay? All-star list of actors, he would be my number 1. This guy does everything.
You gotta eat dinner before you get dessert.
Between what he did on Sons of Anarchy, if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. Vice Principals, Hateful Eight, like, he is all over the place, and he is awesome. And he was a great villain in this movie. It brought a lot of conflict. And Alicia Vikander did a really good job with the material. She was she earned an Academy Award for a reason. She is a great actress, and she did a really good job with the material. I just feel like this is the latest attempt at Hollywood to adapt a video game film. They keep missing the bar.
Do you mean to tell me that you cannot do one single pull-up?
They're just not getting it right, and audiences aren't really caring. And it's kind of a shame that they're not caring, because there's some good stuff going on here. Just the problem being, really, is that it can't stack up to the actual game. And I mean, the games these days have caught up to Hollywood and gone beyond Hollywood as far as cinematic presentation, stories. It's really, really hard for a movie to compete with that. It is genuinely difficult for a movie to compete with something that you actually control yourself. That's telling a story that's just as complex. And the story of the Tomb Raider 2013 video game was a story of a Nivette woman becoming stronger and really coming into her own and becoming this powerhouse of a person. And this is where that movie failed, because in the game she had no one to rely on. It was just Lara Croft versus this evil corporation Trinity that's trying to do all these awful things to the world. And it made the game that much better for it that at the end of this game she comes out this fully capable, kick-ass woman, an Ellen Ripley, if you will. About 2/4, maybe halfway, 3/4 into the film, Lara discovers that her father, who has been in all Tomb Raider lore has been long dead, is alive. And what went from something that could have been a really good story to elevate women characters all around, it just became the man show with Lara Croft. And that's where it missed the mark. That's where it missed the mark, and it kind of throws the whole thing off. To be honest with you, there's a lot good going on in this film. But they just don't get it. I don't know what it is about Hollywood. And me being a filmmaker and an avid video game player, it really confuses me, because they're missing the mark. But they're making good movies. They can't stack up to the experiences you have in a game. And most video game players know that. The first Tomb Raider game takes about 30 hours, 40 hours to complete. And a lot of it's story development. You're talking about a 4, 5, 6 hour story that you're trying to break down into 2 hours. It's things. And I mean, even a couple of other movies that kind of tried to break through that barrier from video games to film in the last couple of years have been very good. Assassin's Creed was very good. And it didn't find an audience because everybody that plays Assassin's Creed kind of knows the story already. Warcraft, another good example of that. Just they already know the story. I'm not saying that Hollywood should stop trying to adapt video games. I mean, there's a couple up on the block that I am absolutely fucking stoked for, like Gears of War, which is one of my, if not my favorite video game series of all time. If you know, my gamer tag is Gut Yourself. Come find me. But yeah, they're making a Gears of War movie, and I'm both ecstatic and terrified all at the same time, because this is something that's near and dear to all these fans' hearts, and yeah, it's almost like the superhero genre in that regard. But getting back on topic, Tomb Raider, if we're gonna score it, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna go down the level, because it had a lot of strong parts, but developing the characters in the way that they developed them was a bad call. That's gonna do it for me, guys. I think I'm jumping in with Jay and Bree. See you then.
All right, we're back and we're talking Hereditary. We originally had this done for the last episode that you never saw because somebody, I won't mention any names, Paul, sorry, forgot to turn the microphone on. So we had a whole show with no sound.
Yep.
So here we are back again. We have Bree, we have James. We're talking Hereditary. The scariest movie of all time.
I thought that was a Blair Witch.
Yeah. No. No.
That wasn't The Exorcist?
No.
Okay.
Hereditary.
Okay, it was the scariest movie of all time.
Hereditary.
Sure.
Well, that's what it's billed as. So I'm going to take it we do not agree with that sentiment.
I wouldn't say it was the scariest movie of all time.
Good.
Oh.
Very good.
Oh.
Not the best, but very good. Yes. You still haven't seen it?
No.
Unbelievable.
I know. I know.
Failure. But you've at least seen the trailers and stuff.
Oh, I've seen all the trailers. I've looked up a bunch of YouTube things about it because I'm trying to understand what the fuck it's about because the trailer didn't leave a lot and then everyone's like, oh, I don't, like, I'll ask them if they like it or not and they're like, I'm like, what does that mean? And then everyone's like, it's weird. So I just looked up a bunch of YouTube things as spoilers because I need to understand things.
For me, that is the genius of this movie. Is that they give you absolutely nothing in the trailer, and then you go see this movie and you're like,
What did I just watch?
in the actual fuck?
Yeah.
As I was coming out of the theater to watch it, he was coming in, and I had that same exact look on my face. He was like, oh, how was it? And I was like, I don't know.
That's what everyone's telling me.
I needed like a day and a half to process it because I was just like, what did I just watch?
This movie is like a satanic onion. The more
layers? Like an ogre?
the more layers like an ogre, but the more layers you peel off of this thing, the more fucked up it gets. It's just after I processed it, after I thought about it, after I drew all the lines and crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, I, like, about a day and a half after I watched it, I sat back and went,
yes,
that movie was fucking incredible.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, that movie was completely fucked. That was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Wow.
Goddamn.
Yep. Visually, stunning movie. The cinematography in this movie was
That's important.
It was, oh
Unbelievable.
my god.
The way it was shot, how they did everything was just
Now the
fantastic.
actors, they're like no names, right?
Well, Toni Collette is pretty
Well, besides
well,
her.
I mean, she was
and
Sixth
Toni
Sense.
Collette, Oscar-winning performance. She
Yeah.
was fan-fucking-tastic in this movie.
I
The
know
little
you.
girls knew.
I know that Hollywood will not nominate her because you guys fucking hate horror, but she deserves it.
Yeah.
She deserves the Oscar.
she
Hands
was
fucking down.
phenomenal.
She blew me out of the water.
Phenomenal.
And Gabriel Byrne, he's not in a lot anymore. The guy who played the father.
Yep.
He's not in a lot anymore, but back in like the '90s, he was in a lot of cool stuff. Like he was in End of Days, Cool World,
I was just gonna say, cool.
a couple other things. But I mean, there's something to be said too about getting actors that are in the twilight of their career, so
Yeah.
to speak. You get these guys that have awesome chops
Yeah.
for
And I
a
even think,
less
like,
than
thinking
price.
back on it, like, even his role, he didn't have a lot to say, and he wasn't in a lot of, but the way he played, it was very subdued, and it was just great, all the way around, just fantastic.
I feel like there was not a weak person on the cast.
No, not at all.
The kids were fucking amazing.
The little girl was,
Now she's
Great.
never been in anything, right?
I don't think so.
If it was something right under the radar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think I've ever seen her in anything before, but she was really good.
But yeah.
Good for her.
And that's
though.
the screwed up part, is because when you watch the trailers, you think like she's an integral part.
That's
in this
what I
movie.
thought.
And then like
And it's
she's in like
not.
the first half hour, and then one of the most brutal,
Murders.
disturbing death scenes I've seen in a long time.
Okay. We're gonna get to the part of this movie that is the thing. Honestly, like I'm talking to the people out in the internet world, if you're walking in this movie expecting your ho-hum bullshit, insidious fucking whatever, a James Wan movie ripoff, some kind of new Conjuring or something like that, you are so fucking wrong.
Nope.
You are so fucking wrong, and you are going to appreciate that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
This movie is savage.
Yes.
Fucking savage. And the more you pay attention, the more fucking awful it gets, and it's so good for
That
it.
is the thing. This is one of those movies where you have to be laser focused on what is
And
happening.
you have to be
in front of
halfway intelligent to understand.
That too. That
Yeah.
helps.
This movie is not for stupid people.
It does.
I'm sorry. If you have an IQ of a postage stamp, this is gonna roll over real bad for you. This isn't gonna work.
If you thought Jurassic World was good, don't watch Hereditary.
Don't.
At all.
Oh my god.
There's no human cloning in Hereditary.
No. I think, again, it's billed as the scariest or the creepiest or whatever it is. Maybe not the
Those.
creepiest, but
The
definitely
most well made, or
it was very well made.
Yeah.
It was extremely well made.
I will put it to you this way.
It's up there though. It's
Yeah.
definitely going to be up there in the horror.
I will put it to you
genre.
this way. I watched a lot of horror movies in my day. I don't think this is a secret to
Really?
anyone.
you don't say.
Yeah, you know, you might even call me an aficionado,
Oh yeah.
a connoisseur
Oh, yeah.
of the horror genre. But I watch a shitload of horror movies, and every couple of years or year, there's always that movie
That you're just like, wow.
that just that you just not wow, but like gets hyped to you
Yes.
as wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like whether it be The
The
Witch,
Witch.
Disappointment Central,
Oh my god, yeah.
Veronica, Disappointment
so lame.
Central.
So lame.
All these movies that get hyped up as the new Blair Witch, what a train wreck that was.
Oh my
But all these movies get hyped up as something more than they are.
Right.
Definitely.
Hereditary is everything it promises it is.
You know why?
Holy shit.
Because they put more money into the actual fucking movie as opposed to advertising like The Witch and all those other ones.
No, they just did the one trailer.
That's
That
what
was
I'm
it.
saying. That was it. Blair Witch did so fucking much to seem like this big scary movie. Same thing with The Witch. You know, and then there's that whole fucking thing on Facebook where people posting about Veronica. Like, Hereditary, people knew about it just from that one commercial, that one trailer. And why? Because they were able to spend more money on making a good fucking movie.
Oh, and what a movie it was. And we're talking a minimalist movie, too, when you really think about
Yeah.
it. It's got 3 sets.
Yep.
Yep.
It's got 5 actors.
Yep.
It's just
Phenomenal.
savage. I can't even explain on what level this movie will fuck with you if you let it. And you should let it fuck with you,
Yes.
I promise
That
you.
would be a good time.
What was I gonna say? Shit, I had something. We'll just forget about me for a moment.
No, it's just like getting back to like the cinematography, like how they'll focus in on something, and then there's something in the corner happening. You don't really catch it at first, and then you look and you're like, oh shit! You get goosebumps while looking at it.
That's what I was gonna say.
The creepiness factor
Yeah.
in this movie is off the charts.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was gonna say. Going to the cinematography of it too. There's not a jump scare in the film.
No,
Not
Wow.
a one.
Nope.
Not loud music. Not anything.
Wow.
Everything is playing with how your eyes actually resonate to light.
You know-
and
Yep.
oh my god.
and what's funny is we said about music is that I was in the theater watching this movie, and it was so quiet that the theater over, I could hear what was happening in the next theater, and I was
Jeez.
like, "Is that music coming from this movie? Is it from that?" And I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" But it's quiet and creepy, and you don't really,
But it's definitely one of those movies you should get, like, you should actually buy and watch a couple different times so you can pick out the little Easter eggs.
I'm gonna go watch it again in theaters, and then when it
Okay.
comes out on DVD, I'm buying the DVD, the
Good.
Blu-ray, all the extras. I love this movie.
Yeah, I love
I-
movies that you have to watch more than once to just
Yes,
get all the little
that too.
Easter eggs.
That too.
For sure.
I as a filmmaker, I'm on a quest. I need to pick this apart. I do. I need to sit there with the Blu-ray on freeze frame and be like, how do you do this?
Right. It's
I do.
Special features. I need to understand.
Like, if this thing just has its, like, run-of-the-mill, like, making-of doc, and that's it, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Like, I need more. I need more. I don't know if you're watching A24. That's the production house that made the movie. If you are watching A24, I need more. I need more. I need to know. I need to know how you did it.
All right, so on a scale of 1 to 13, James, what would you rate Hereditary?
Grand fucking slam. It is a 12 out of a 13 for me.
Nice.
Hands fucking down.
I would give it the same rating.
Okay.
I would give it the same. And the only reason I'm not going to go 13 is just because it was hyped up a little bit too much for me. Like, I was expecting to, come out with brown pants, but they were yellow. I'll give you that much.
Only reason I'm knocking a point off, the only reason I'm knocking a point off is I feel like they relied, and this was good for me as a filmmaker, as a smart person, they relied a little too much on visual cue.
Okay.
I feel like average Joe dude
Yeah.
that's walking out of this thing is gonna go, and that point's for you. All you dumb people that may not understand the film, I'm not apologizing for it, but I'm giving you a point just because for me it's a 13, but I'm not a moron.
You're
There you
also
go.
you're a filmmaker too.
I'm also a filmmaker. But I'm not saying that if you do not enjoy this film, you are stupid. Do not misconcept that and fuck me up in the comments later.
Kinda.
But a touch. But no, what I'm saying is if you dislike this film but you understand it, I understand.
fine, right.
It's a polarizing movie. I do feel like there's going to be a tinge of people that get it fully and still go, I don't fucking like this.
Right.
But I feel like there's a touch of people out there that this might just whiz right over your fucking head. So that point's for you. It would be a 13 otherwise, but right for me, it's a 12 out of 13.
But yeah, I definitely go check this out.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so stay with us because we are going to have our giveaway winners on the screen coming up now.